Hi, hope that you're doing great. Today I am going to share my flight experience with Australian low-cost airline Jetstar from Auckland to Brisbane. It offers different packages similar to Ryanair in Europe, but how it actually is? Let's explore it together. It was an early morning flight at 8 a.m., so despite of online check-in, I reached airport 2 hours before scheduled flight time. Luggage machines were the only option for your check-in luggage, although staff is there to support you if you have any issues with it. After this step, I moved to security and immigration, which were quickly completed, so I explored the airport a little bit more, which is beautiful. It's the biggest Kiwi airport with good shopping options. The restaurants and shops are not expensive if you have forgotten to buy something from New Zealand. The boarding process started as scheduled, and despite of rain, there was no delay at all. So let's go and check how does it work for the next 3 hours on this flight.
I didn't search, but it looks like the airport was built recently and gives you an impression that it is brand new. A part of it is still under construction. The duty free shops are similar everywhere in the world, and the prices too. As I had some time, I visited some other shops and restaurants at this airport, and I found that they are not expensive and the prices are similar to as they are in the city of Auckland, for example. Maybe I just visited that area where only visitors come, and that's why I say this, but still, the city wasn't expensive as well. I wanted to fly with Air New Zealand as well, but they were too expensive compared to Jetstar and even compared with Qantas. So I had no other option than to leave them. Maybe next time. So this Airbus A320 is my plane for today's flight.
445 to Brisbane that due to
The seat numbers were called one by one to board. The first impression of ambience and the seats is really good. As you might have already observed that there are no screens for infotainment on this plane, which is standard for low-cost carriers, and the menu to buy
Welcome on
anything
board your
on the flight
Jetstar flight.
was on
To
paper.
help us depart quickly, keep in the overhead lockers and your smaller items under the seat in front of you. If you're sitting in an exit row or at the bulkhead, you'll need to put all your belongings in the overhead lockers. As we are refueling, please keep your seatbelt unfastened until the seatbelt sign is switched on. Smoking, vaping,
such as in the seat pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please don't place power banks into the overhead lockers and be reminded using power banks at any time while on board the aircraft is not permitted. Thank you.
Approach the crew member closest to you as to demonstrate the safety features on our Airbus A3.
As I have already mentioned in the beginning that there were multiple offers for fares with this airline, and my fare didn't include any meal on board, and I also didn't want to have one because it was early in the morning and I left after having a breakfast. But I added 20 kg luggage and a hand luggage for just 20 Australian dollars additionally. So let's enjoy the takeoff, as there were no views from the city of Auckland because it was raining. For this route, in general, the airplane doesn't fly above the city of Auckland because it starts and just climb above the clouds or above the sea.
Limit your movements around the cabin and do not change seats during this flight unless first speaking to one of the crew. There are 3 toilets on board, one at the front, 2 at the rear. All are fitted with smoke detectors. A reminder that smoking, including e-cigarettes and vaping, is not permitted on board this aircraft. Please take care when you open the overhead lockers, as items such as water bottles may fall out, injuring yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be handing out arrival documentation for entry into Australia. These forms need to be...
This is a routine announcement on the flights to Australia and New Zealand, where you have to fill the forms in which you inform about the things you are bringing with you. They actually don't want you to bring any food and seeds and similar things with you, regardless of from where you are coming. There are exceptions for sure, and you can bring something which is commercially packed, but still you have to declare it to be on the safe side, because if you have declared it and they find it, they will just dispose of and you won't be fined for it. These exceptions which I told you are for the food items like chocolate or any other gifts which many people bring. I don't mean that you can bring seeds when they are packed, so don't be confused. Just search it before you travel on the Australian government website. The other thing which they do ask in this form is where will you stay, but they don't care about it and actually don't ask it. The main concern is about what you are bringing with you. So Brisbane was also not different. It was also raining there, and we just reached there punctual as scheduled.
Time is 8:23 a.m. For your safety and the safety of others around you, please remain seated with the seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been turned off and the aircraft has come to a complete stop outside the
Thank you.
The airport offered good plane spotting. So let me summarize the flight as it is completed now. I would say it was little better compared with European low-cost carriers. To book additional luggage, it was very easy and it didn't cost a lot. It just costed a fraction of what I paid for the booking. The price was half of the price of Qantas, which is also not bad for just skipping a meal, and the high speed internet as well, which I could skip without thinking a lot because it was not important for me on this small flight. But if you are a business traveler or you have a longer flight, it makes sense to decide it according to your need. But when it comes to seats and legroom, it was not different at all compared with Qantas Boeing 737. Although I named Qantas, but I mean every 737 should have similar leg space for economy class. If you still have any question, just ask in comments. Also, if I missed something. A very similar duty-free shop on the exit at Brisbane Airport as well. These lines were not for the immigration, as immigration is on a booth where you don't meet any person. These are the lines for biosecurity checkup where they just pick anyone randomly. So it can be expensive for you if you didn't declare what you have. So just don't forget to declare whatever you bring with you. In worst case, it will be confiscated and disposed of, but you won't be fined. Till next time.